touchdown, Levine Toilolo.
Touchdown Atlanta, Devontae Freeman, and a touchdown Julio Jones.
When it comes time to compete, there's nobody better.
My grandma smiling down on me like, whoop, that boy got bars. Okay, yes I do. I said amen and hallelujah, let me testify to another morning, a morning, won't let self get in my way.
It's a very strong brotherhood this group has.
And I remember why I came.
Got a chance to start again.
How you like me now? 58 days to kick off. That's just a Jack Lambert or Derek Thomas away from the start of football season. It's also, work with me, the number of offensive touchdowns the Falcons scored last year, a team record and the most in the NFL. And it wasn't just one guy either, although he did have a lot to do with it. Matt Ryan threw touchdowns to any number of fellas. How about week one against the Buccaneers? We'll start with Mohamed Sanu for the 5-yard TD.
Pretty good.
right.
Sanu was new at that time. He hadn't even trusted him yet.
Later in that game, Ryan to Julio Jones. You've heard of him, a 25-yard touchdown. 2 receivers have caught touchdowns. Here's Jacob Tammy, a 14-yard TD. Now we've got how many? Keeping score? 3. Let's move on to 4, shall we?
The rebound.
Justin Hardy, that's right, 4 receivers. Matt Ryan spreading the wealth. It was the calling card of this Falcons offense later in the season. Devontae Freeman. We'll talk more about him in just a minute. Now we've up to 5. Week 4 against the Panthers to Austin Hooper. We got there. No, there's Aldrick Robinson. This is moving fast.
These things are
All right, listen.
quickly.
Tevin Coleman, I got you. 31 yards.
Is it just me, or is every
Look, there we go.
receiver
What number is that? That's
wild? You know what we call
9
this?
receivers.
Everybody's having fun.
Yep.
We're all
right.
getting in on the action, man.
I'm going to skip ahead. How many are we going to?
Gabriel.
13.
Look at that
We're
play.
going to 15?
He earned that one.
Look, Patrick DeMarco.
Oh, you got to
Yeah.
give the dog a bone, baby. Give him a
Listen.
bone. I see you, big dog.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Saturday's in this thing. It's a race.
Josh
Center eligible.
Yeah,
That's what
it
he
is.
wants.
It is. Right here.
You can't beat it.
I don't remember this one.
You want to know
Yeah,
why teams
well,
have fun?
that's why we're
Why
here.
they got the brotherhood? Because everybody's scoring touchdowns. Everybody gets to take that ball
That's
home,
right.
paint it up.
Listen, nobody's angry at present. However, let me put a damper on things, shall I? Over the last 5 seasons, who brought Debbie Downer, the team that led the NFL in scoring lost an average of over 7 points per game the next year. That would be 2017 for Atlanta. The Falcons lost offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan to the 49ers this offseason, so that won't help either. Listen, this is the Jeff Saturday show. We're just here to help.
This is.
And but look,
Center always gets the glory.
Yeah, exactly.
Center of it all, Dan. Center of it all.
So listen, but in all fairness, you were part of a Colts squad.
I like to say I carried it. Keep
Brotherhood,
going.
yeah. You carried that group through the 2000s, and you were able to sustain some type of offensive production.
Yeah.
So, how'd you do it?
I will
Not
say
just
this.
you, but everybody.
We focused as a group, in all seriousness, on the weakness of each guy individually. Whatever you could do to get yourself better, and then cumulatively we would all put it together. Dan Quinn, who was here a few weeks ago on NFL Live, is very similar in the way he's approached this team in the offseason. Hey, what can you do to get yourself to be a better football player? Is it footwork? Is it hat placement? Is it hand placement? Is it route running? Ryan, how's your footwork in the pocket? All of those things, but he demands each player evaluates themselves to get the team better overall. And I love that mentality. And honestly, that's the way good teams, really good teams, get to great. Because everybody looks at themselves, everybody's critical of themselves. They go back and they don't go, well, I did enough. If this guy would have done his job, there is none of that. It all goes back to here. I love that about Dan Quinn. He got me fired up, actually, just listening to it. I think that's the way teams sustain that type of play.
All right, so when you look at this offense in particular, there's some fantasy effects. We have Field Yates with us. Remember last season, it was I don't even know what week it was before folks started really buying into Matt Ryan. It was like no matter what he was doing, fantasy owners were just they were cautious.
Little hesitant.
So let's start with Matt Ryan, who did end up panning out, obviously.
Listen, there's no reason